And we are live on Well Garden Stream. It is great to see everybody, and we have a foggy live. So that's why the camera looks the way it does on this foggy live stream. Okay, and right here, we got this right here. Okay, and we have a lot of these, these plants are coming up really well and very quickly. Plants can take their time coming up, but it's nice to see when they do. It is a deep, fog, kind of like a foghorn. That's what you would need probably to get through all this. Yeah. So it is definitely a lot of interesting things are coming out with the extraterrestrial information that is being released out there. And we are going to be continuing to do deep dives into that. Because I definitely think that there is more out there than just us. And that's why it's important to, go and talk and dispute about these things. Because a lot of times people will not understand it or have their heads in the clouds and not see the, obvious truth that's plainly in, sight. A lot of times. Okay. And yeah, it's very important for people to see that. There's so many things that people don't know that are there because they're always looking down, not looking up. A lot of times people will go their whole lives and not completely understand things that they saw was actually real, because a lot of times the mind can play tricks on somebody and you may not think that there is something that's actually there. Like people might see a thing in the sky and go, "Oh, it's not really what it is. What it is what it is." But it's actually something more interesting than just plain nothing. And as I said, there's fog, so it's why the camera view looks like it's snowing right now, but it isn't. It's actually just a bunch of fog droplets. So I mean, it makes it look more spooky in a way, and it's almost like a filter. But I hear the ships with their foghorns. Yep, I hear ships in a distance. Definitely, because they have, it's foggy and these plants are getting some big. Oh, okay. And it's even kind of like make it more narrow to get through here. Hello, Jas. Welcome. Yeah, so I said, I believe that there's, you know, aliens and different types of things out there. Dungle eating one of the leaves. Well, I think that on my planet, I'm not really eat leaves. I'm just exploring Earth right now. Yes, I'll be careful. I don't know if it's a good idea, but that's nice of you to want to make a good suggestion that would cause me great health and prosperity. Shout out to LA. LA is cool. And it's obvious, Dungle, that you don't really know that much, and it's okay. I mean, you can learn over time, from your mistakes. It's all good. Yeah, planet Earth. Yeah, we are on planet Earth right now, and I came from planet 10, and it's nice to be here on the Earth. I know like 10 things, bro, and two of them are about eating leaves. I hear what you're saying. Now the thing is like, what leaves are you going to be eating? Like, for instance, there's leaves over here that people could probably eat or aliens could eat too. It just depends. Technically, the leaves are like these are leaves are most likely, in my opinion, maybe edible. But of course, people do their own diligence about eating leaves. But it depends on the leaves. Those might be edible. The other ones, like there, technically are edible. I think. Yeah, the whole thing's edible technically. But as I said, you just don't choose a random leaf and eat it. You have to see what it is first. I'll give you Australian steak. It'll be the greatest steak that you ever tasted. Everything's yeah, you're right, Dungle. Everything's edible once. That's true. That's a good point. Maybe a morbid fact, but at least once it's edible. Yeah. There you go. Look, this is probably edible right here. But of course, don't eat anything. Use your own due diligence if you want to eat something or not. That's up, to see if it's really safe. But the flowers are not the other things. I don't know. Their genome sees some of the. Okay, tall order. Yeah. See, I have personally never seen a skinwalker before, but people on the show have seen them, and it's extremely slippery where I am, so I have to be very, 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 very careful. And yeah, it's extremely important to see that skinwalkers are have been sighted. Okay, so I've seen skinwalkers before, and I'm okay. I personally never seen skinwalkers before. I'm gonna rephrase that. I've I have seen people on my show that have said they've seen skinwalkers a few times. Okay, so the people that have seen skinwalkers before, it is extremely disturbing when they see them. It's kind of like kind of catches people off guard, and they kind of wonder what it is. It's like here's an example of one guy. An example of this is like if you have a situation where you hear a owl or a bird of some kind, and it's not really what you think it is, then that's when they'll try to mimic other animals, but they're not really other animals. So it almost sounds like it's fake. So in Skinwalker sightings, it'll look like a humanoid creature or a cat or like a wild cat or something like that, or some kind of thing, and it's just really unnatural and unsettling. So that's the way they look like, and I've talked to people who have seen them and heard them before, but I personally have not seen them or heard them before. Uh, you know, but they definitely are out there, dude. Over eating bushes. Yeah, I had an experience with Skinwalker a few years ago. It mimicked a deer. Oh, okay, okay. I like to. It mimicked a deer. Okay, so where were you? Were you in the woods, or how did it? Where were you at exactly? I'm interested to know. And also, I've seen one of those. It's dinner. We have Sasquatch. Oh, yeah, you have Sasquatch. Yeah. Now I know a lot of indigenous native cultures in the United States. They have seen those kind of things before. Oh, yeah. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And hello, Underboss. Have a divine Sunday, fun day. All right. And oh, great to see you. And yeah, Sasquatch. I know, and a lot of people in those cultures have told me about the Sasquatch they have seen. Hey, hi, hello, Rebecca. Welcome. And it is extremely cool to have that there, like it's cool to like talk about people that have had these type of experiences throughout time. And a transplant said, "So I grew up in the suburbs near decently wooded area, and I think it followed me home." Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Because it takes the form of a deer, and it might be something that's kind of bizarre or like unnatural, and they start to kind of follow you around. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, so definitely I've heard accounts of that from their indigenous cultures. And also, aliens are angels or demons. Okay, I think there are aliens out there from other planets or and other dimensions, but I also think that some other entities are demonic or angels as well, but it's hard to really distinguish which ones are which because I think that they can appear as each other. Maybe things from these other realms or dimensions can appear on our planet a certain way, but they're not all the same thing. Like you could have three gray aliens from three different origins. One gray alien might be a demon, one might be an angel, one might be from another planet. Yeah, but definitely, like there's the Watchers, from the Book of Enoch, right, in the Bible. There's clearly something else out there in the universe that could come on this way. So yeah, demons are angels, just different modes. One for heaven, one for hell. It's all divided, all divine. Yes, that is true, Underboss. Yes. And Transplant said, I heard the sound of hooves clopping the side in the house, looked out my bedroom window, and it was staring right at me. It had green eyes. Yeah, that definitely sounds like a skinwalker. You humans were never designed to know the truth. You know, I think that yeah, humans may not have been designed to know the truth. They still should know the truth anyway. And human green eyes. And it also sounded like a deer. Okay, because that is a good analogy to make that specific because the skinwalker is a human with done witchcraft and they are able to shapeshift into something else, sort of like the werewolves we talked about here. So yeah, okay, yeah, that's definitely describing a skinwalker. It's taking the form of a deer. And how big is it? How big is what? How big is what? And what are your thoughts on Dogman? I think the Dogman is actually real. It's definitely something out there. It's a type of cryptid that exists. We have some on here that have had experience with Dogman before. So that is something I think is quite, you know, interesting. But yeah, it's definitely a disturbing creature. Hello, Rose. Welcome to the stream. And let's see, Transplant said, I had some blessed bullets, don't ask, and I loaded them into the rifle and it took off running. And I saw it transform into something bipedal. It has entered the woods. Ah, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And you see, because when you're dealing with something, like a demonic entity or a human that's possessed, it's good to have that, like, to combat it. And Wolfman's upright and walking in the walking wolves. Hey, I want humans to know again about the divine, how angels used to play on earth with humans and having fun entertainment mankind. Yeah. Yeah, very good point. And Wolfman upright, Wolfman eat lead like bread. Yeah. So that is something that I think is extremely important to decipher right there. With the way the Wolfman is, you know, how it walks a certain way and it acts like that. I definitely think that is a true analogy. Now, in these other circumstances where you have usually these have cowardly spirits, the people that are witches that are doing that, or the witches that are being skinwalkers, are people or demons that are taking their form. All of that is certainly essential to decipher what they're doing because when they're exposed or caught, they usually run away because that's what evil does. It goes into the shadows and it's able to get away supernaturally or just too fast to comprehend. So that is what I think with the skinwalkers. they are absolutely going to do things like that because they've done it before and they know what they're doing. So it'd be very difficult to get one captured or take it out, and it might just vanish in a smoke and just vanish into thin air. All right, and Transplant said this was definitely a skinwalker. People I knew, my neighbor, and similar stories. That's also reports of the Wendigo near me. Oh, the Wendigo too. Okay, the Wendigo is this entity that exists, and it's a symbolism of like the seven deadly sins for Christianity, something like that. And it's like this scrawny, giant, this cretin thing that's able to have like a deer head of a skull deer head. And what it does is it's it comes during the omens of those types of famines and those types of different entities that are out there, right? And it comes from the time of plague or an apocalyptic scenario in indigenous native cultures, and that is what it does, right? So I think it is really interesting. You had sightings of those as well in that region, and okay, and yeah, right on Transplant and Bong hit. Good morning. Yes, a Bong hit. Now that's a good name. I like that. And morning, boss. And yeah, so how do people not know what Wendigo is? There's a lot of people are just not always familiar with these types of conspiracy theories and legends. Some people are familiar with it and they just like to hear the story about it. Like there's some people that like to hear, like if you're watching a favorite show and you're having it talked about all the time, that's the difference. Oh, good morning, Saw Girl. Welcome. And we are having a foggy garden live. That's what all these droplets are, just going across the stream. Suppose you're correct. Okay. Oh no, it comes from native indigenous culture. It was something in their mythology. It was something in their mythology. People. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, but a lot of people in the mythology of the Wendigo, it comes from their. And if you didn't know, it's from the indigenous native cultures. Yeah. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to Sawgirl. Yes. And hello, Rodriguez. Hello, Goddess. Hello, Evil. Let's call him Minnie. And yes, Studio, I agree. The Wendigo is real. Absolutely. And yeah, Rodriguez, it is great to see you. Any special plants in the garden? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, this right here is a plant from the time of the probably when the Wendigo legends and Skinwalker legends were being discovered by the natives, indigenous people. That this plant is from all the way back then. You saw one when you were a child. Okay. Oh, if you'd like to tell the story, what was it like? All right. And yeah, you have all this right here. And yeah, it's almost like something's going to come from the dark and creep up on us. Yeah. And yeah, so definitely the Wendigo is real. And tell you the special plants. All right. So I'm going to go over where the vegetables are. I keep them in the area where the sun is because the other area is kind of like a forest, but there's some sunspots. All right, here we go, Rodriguez. This is okra coming up. Where I am, it's 5:35 a.m. Goddess. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. All right. Yeah, and right here, there's two tomato plants right there, and right here we have the primroses. Okay. Yes, understood, Rose. Thank you for letting us know that. Right, and you are right. You're right. And Minnie says, "I cannot recount because it's scared the living hell out of me, and always worry when I speak of it. Listening, I'll get okay. Understood. Well, thank you for sharing the information with us because we definitely don't want to attract anything, negative. If people don't want to like some, it's like kind of like the sea bear, right? It's like people, like Squidward said, there's no sea bear, and then actually what happens is the sea bear, you know, comes around. Because Squidward wasn't supposed to do things to attract a sea bear. He did everything he could to attract a sea bear, and it came and mauled him. So, yeah, I'll definitely understand that. Mentioning it could not be the best thing. Oh, okay. Welcome to the chat, Canada. We have some Canadians in the channel, so I like Canada's cool. Cool people there. Okay. Yeah, we need more jungle. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, right here we have all kinds of crazy vines, and see we're going down this way, and you're gonna see some more stuff. Scared. That's a palm tree. Yes. Oh, really? That's super. Let's see. Hey, Chris. I'm just showing them different jungle plants. We're talking. The topics about the Wendigo and about the skinwalkers. Although we're proceeding the topic with caution, because some believe to not summon bad omens around us. So we're talking about with caution. Yes, I've considered getting a telescope, and I'm going to get one at some point in time. That's a very good idea. Yeah. So yeah, and we have some more jungle right here in the fog. This is the elderberry right here. It's very mysterious. Even like in the background, it's kind of like right. That's what it looks like without the light on. It's quite different, right? So those are definitely entities that exist. And down this way, we're going to go here, and yeah, this is what it looks like without the light on. Scared, scared, scared. Well, thank you, goddess. Thank you. I am. I have a jacket on, and I'm staying warm. Yeah, it's a little chilly right now. Okay, and when I was a kid, I heard he heard my mom calling from the freezing woods behind our house, but she was asleep inside, looking out, and saw this 9 foot tall starving gray thing with antlers mimicking her voice. Uh huh. That's what they do. That's what both of those things do. They mimic a voice. I think it's going to know ourselves and know the enemy. So yeah, it's mimicking a voice. Yeah, yeah. That's what the other one does too. The Skinwalker. Okay, thank you. And Rose says it's interesting how certain areas of the world resonate spiritual activity more, alien activity more, etc. Yes, some do more than others. That's absolutely true. And when some do it more than others, it could be a fascination because it's universal. Because there's people all over the world that have the same type of stories of seeing the same things, but they don't always see them in some other spots because maybe some people are more in tune with them, or maybe they're visited more by some than others. Okay, and see like this, and then they go this way. See, that's with the light on. Okay, body stapled down 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Temperature in bathtub is uh, chin Celsius. Oh, okay. Well, that is really cool. That's really cool, boss. Yeah, and we got some mysterious skies. It's getting a little bit more. It's getting brighter. It's getting brighter. I went through the winter with no heat, with no windows open, and 16 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Yeah, that is very cold. That's very cold. One time when it was real cold and a cold storm was coming, I had no shirt, I had no like hoodie on or jacket, and everybody was like standing inside, think I'm crazy. You know, I've done that. I've done stuff like that before. Yeah, and this is a tropical plant right here, and it has morning dew all over it. It's almost a witching hour. I'm going to. I'm getting into some creepy vibes coming from behind me. Shit, you're not scared. Oh yeah, you gotta watch your back. There could be something lurking in the shadows. The and when definitely. And also, I would also say that to not be too scared because it will be it will pass over because whatever is there will eventually you would be put up with the wisdom that you have right now. So what equips you with for the present moment is exactly what you will need if you have to face something. But I think technically, in all seriousness, it's all okay. Yeah, scared, scared. So yeah, just be careful. There might be something lurking in the shadows. The children of the night make lots of howling, but they don't always bite too hard, goddess. So uh, not to be too concerned with them though. And Rose says, "Many God, you are a warrior. The moment you are conscious of them, fight back and then tend flee." And I love the cold. I remember blizzards in '98. It was nuts. Yeah, and perfectly lured me, and I ran away. I never went to those trees again. And it lured you into the trees, and you ran away. That's good. That's good. Scared, scared. Yeah. So sometimes in the night there might be some eyes that might be looking around, or definitely when you feel a presence of something, there's definitely a powerful presence that could be felt. Yeah, and like what Mini God is going through, it's the like what you have right now that arms you against the present will arm you in the moment of actually facing something crazy. So it's good. Uh, yeah, scared, scared, scared. There's different fans of mine that made up different ones, and so that's where all the different variations come from. Scared. Yeah, that's definitely what I feel when I'm in the night and the pixels, black fairies come around in the dark of night. Especially here, I felt presences here before, and sometimes I've been on these streams in this specific location around here. People have heard growling noises and moaning before, so there could be some paranormal things in this part, apparently. But yeah, I definitely know the scared feeling. Yeah, so definitely when facing with these types of entities, it would be. Oh yes, yes, absolutely, guys. When you're facing these types of entities, a lot of people will not believe the things until they, see it. That's why my philosophy is not to be gullible, but I don't mind being proven wrong about something if more truth comes out that I was wrong, but I like to believe things, quite often. Not any scams or anything, but I like to believe in these things and then seeing what happens over time because I really don't like a situation where somebody says they're experiencing something and no one believes them because I think it's a real dark situation, because you want to have people that are believed and that are taken, into consideration over things that are not being taken into consideration or being taken seriously. Exactly, boss. Very good point. It's also good that you have the phone to record. Same beings only show up on digital. Some beings only show up on digital. You are absolutely correct. And when I'm actually talking, and I was over like looking at the moon over here. When I was over here, the chat heard it, but I didn't even hear anything. I don't even hear what they're hearing, but it's like it's there. And there was a time where I was filming this spot right here. I was like taking a video of the spot, and I looked back, and I heard a disembodied voice talking. So, and I didn't even hear it the first time. So yeah, sometimes digital could pick up things that you can't even like maybe hear first, shot. So yeah, I that is definitely very true, Goddess. Yeah. All right. Yeah, trust your spidey senses. Yeah. And Moss says when the night gets whisper quiet. Yes. Yeah, because there's apex predator, and the sensors are very, on alert because they know there's something there. Right. And also in this part, I think, yeah. But by the way, these go back from a couple of years ago. I planted one and they spread everywhere, which is pretty cool. I like them. Scared. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't like. There's a saying like, if you want a haunted house, one person hears something falling over, they might think it's a ghost. Someone else might think it's not a ghost, but it's a someone might think it's a ghost. Other might think it's something falling over. I definitely know about that analogy about like not like misinterpreting things that might be something else. But something else that's very important to understand is that sometimes when it's clear as day that there's something weird happening, you know, it's something. As people have encounters that are quite. I've seen them on YouTube. I heard about them, and yeah, it's not good to discredit someone completely that we do not know exactly what they're experiencing. And the pin your tingle, yeah, yeah. We had an experience with a being in the woods that left us unable to move for over a minute. Not even the pit bull and the boxer could move an inch. Scared. That is very haunting, indeed. I think there are things out there in this world, either creatures that we know about or we don't know about, that could be extremely shocking to the point where we don't exactly know what will happen next. It can cause so many problems to the humans that we wouldn't even know what hit us. So yeah, it's like a dinosaur, right? Say you saw a dinosaur, a little old dinosaur walking around, people would not believe it. All right, and Mini God says people need to be more mindful of what others experience because I know these things are very reality based. Morning, Callie. It's great to see you. And yeah, because we have to be sensitive to each other's experiences. And there are con artists, there are people that are spreading nonsense, but there are people that really went through certain paranormal events that need to be taken seriously. Yes, they can with the dark craft that they do. Absolutely. Some broccolis. Oh, hey Zumi, welcome back. All right, so Callie, here's some garden updates for you. You may have already. This is a kind of new, right? See, that's the okra plants coming up. They're doing pretty good. I used to live in a house that was haunted, and I saw a shield in there. Oh, goddess, I like to. If you'd like to tell us, I like to know about what exactly happened. But I definitely believe it. There's people I know also on the channel and elsewhere that have had haunted house experiences. These are two right now. These are two tomatoes. Rose, okay. Okay, you also seen it too. Yes, make a salad. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I grow, pretty much every vegetable you think of. Yeah. And I want to see how the spinach does because I planted some over here. We'll see how it goes. And we have broccoli right here. And yeah, Rose, anybody else like to hear about these experiences? Very interesting. Yeah. And you have, the broccoli right there. I'm also going to show you this way. Rose, after being took off the woods, loudly making the leaves and ground rustle around, we were feared to move again all at once, me and Matthew and two dogs. I'm glad you got out of that. Although we like to know exactly how you got out of that. Glad that you got out of it, though. This is a combination of pumpkins and squash right here. Yeah, so those are the ones that sprouted up. Oh, you didn't have any luck with broccoli. Okay, yeah, it can be difficult to grow. All right, and let's see. Goddess says, had things that walked past my door when I was in my teens. My sister had something say good night to her in the doorway. It was doing laundry and saw a figure turn around and silent scream. Wow, that is, yeah, saw a figure turn around. Yeah, that is spooky indeed. Okay, I had some also paranormal ones myself. Besides the garden voices, I'll tell you in a moment. Broccoli is pretty hard to grow sometimes. It can be difficult to grow. I've grown broccoli before successfully, and it's certainly much better than the grocery store. But yeah, it can be difficult. And one time I was trying to move a broccoli plant, and it just took it out the ground and just like destroyed it by mistake. But other times I grew broccoli very successfully, and it was very delicious. But yeah, as I said, it can be difficult. And okay, and let's see, I'll get to you in a moment, Goddess, about my experience. And thank you for sharing that with me, Goddess, in chat. And Rose says, "What scared it off? I wonder until lost and blessed guardians in Christ, Jesus Christ. Amen." Rose. And let's see, Callie said, "Glad not just me with the broccoli problems." Yeah, yeah. Not at all, Goddess. Not at all. It doesn't. It sounds very anxiety driven, and it sounds like a poltergeist. It's not. It's not something I would wish on anybody. So yeah, scared. And no, I'm not growing any beans at the moment, but I have grown beans, but those aren't beans exactly. All right. So what happened was I was in a one of the cat rooms, and it was around 3 in the morning, and I was sitting with them. I was watching some of the Judge Judy replays. I was petting one of the cats that were on me, and I was looking at the window, and there's behind me there's an AC unit that's not used anymore. And this place like a big warehouse with a cat room in it, and there's all kinds of different areas in it. It kind of looks like Frankenstein's laboratory in like an old castle because it's built with metal in it. So it kind of from the 40s or 50s. So it has like an old fashioned look to it, but it's not like from the 1800s or something. But it's a little bit new, but not that new. And above the AC unit, which is impossible for anyone to go, I heard a knocking, and I'm the only person in this place all by myself. And I'm like, "Ooh, that's something. Something's going on here." And all the cats are looking at it, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't really know what that was. And there's a crawl space in the top part that sometimes different things might crawl in there, but it was like a knock, like a person knocking. It was I'm like, yeah. So that was experience I had. One time I was over in this other area. If I could go to it, I'll see if I can. Okay, yeah, I could go over here. Let's go this way. I was over in this area. I used to go over here and like listen to like tunes and whatever and watch videos. I was walking like back and forth here. In this spot, something tapped me on my shoulder, and I looked and I didn't see anything. All right. Sometimes I've seen, and my family has also seen counts of things being thrown off the table or being knocked over for no reason, stuff like that. So, and sometimes a cat will look at the part of the wall and stare at it for a long time. We don't know what he's looking at. So that is my experience that I had with some paranormal stuff so far. So the experience is ooey, scared. Let's see. I have a few other encounters. Maybe I'll tell another time. Okay, thank you, Mini God. Appreciate it. Speaking of skinwalkers, there are plenty of insanely creepy stuff out here in the woods in Appalachia. They're definitely in Appalachia. I've seen stories about it where there's these pathways, and these things in the woods that try to lure people. Sometimes it's real people, other times it's spirits that like monster type things that will lead people into the woods to try to devour them. So yeah, I definitely do believe in the Appalachia Trail. There's so many missing people in the Appalachia Trail. There's all kinds of apex predators and things that are out there, like Skillwalker type stuff. There, yeah. OMG, yes, you always know something's up if you're safe when your animals sense something or doesn't. Yes, when cats or dogs sense something, exactly. That's how we know that there is truth in what our animals see, because they can see the spiritual realm, things that we cannot see. Yeah, and also, I do not doubt don't know the woods at night. Yes, exactly, and the yeah, definitely, exactly. So, in the woods, like, in the Appalachia when I was there, it was in the woods. It wasn't really in the woods, it was more in just, like, a mountains. I mean, in the hills. Wasn't really much there was woods, but not much. But other parts of it there's in the Appalachia, there's this a friend of mine who was seeing a Mothman type cryptid, or maybe a new cryptid of some kind, and that was something that I saw, you know, from it was from a tree cam from very up high. It was this very crazy looking creature. Yes, that is true. God, it's absolutely with cats. They're half in and half out. The Egyptians believe cats are guardians of the spiritual realm. Right. Yeah, the hills have eyes. Yes. Yeah, the hills doesn't mean I'm safe. That's true. Scared. And let's see, going. See, the cryptids have divine mission. Angels use them for time to time and possession them from vessels, right? And animals attuned to things that we have no idea about. Yeah, I believe that's why they were created, and they had a special ability and companionship with us. Cat got by the wolfman back at night and meow for an hour, compelled under to. Yeah, it is extremely unfortunate about that, and I do think that those cryptids can be very wicked, and what they could do. Also, with the Mothman type entity that understood, boss. And you see, with the Mothman, it is, you know, something that's like up north, but it can be seen all over the world when something bad's about to happen. And but really, it looks like a thing with a hood on its head in a tree. That's what it looks like. And yeah, uh, and Callie says, "I'm in the foothills of the Smokies, and we have crazy stories here. My house is in BFE and surrounded by woods, and the noises you hear at night can be disturbing." Uh huh. Yeah, those are the cryptids doing their thing. Yeah, yeah, I definitely believe it. You know, there's so many things in those woods that aren't seen by us because that's where they went and hid when everything else was torn down. Oh yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah, and cats go behind the couch and go into cat space, and they just gone to repair another room. Yeah, yeah, they definitely go to like another dimension. Okay, and Callie said you can feel things watching you at night. Yeah, yeah. It's almost like the feeling of being watched by something, and these things have multiple different eyes. Haunter and familiar spirit by Juju spellcaster. Okay, okay. Scared by the Juju spellcaster. Okay, and also thanks for explaining, and everybody about your different experiences, and also the yeah, it's almost like there's eyes looking at you that are invisible, but they're just staring right into your soul, and you don't even like see it. Yeah, 100%. And Rose is everything. Okay, Rose, everything experiences in divine origin, creator mankind. Call them angels, call them family. Okay, so what he's talking about, so Rose, we call those demons, right? But demons are technically angels, so he's wording it in a different way. So the fallen angels are those bad entities that do those things, which we you and I, which we believe are like demons. Yeah, I think that's what it means. But thank you, Rose, for your question. Absolutely. You feel things. Okay, so uh, yes, it makes your hair stand up when you feel it. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Because it is certainly like almost like a presence has entered the room with you. Rose, I agree. They're very different. They're very different indeed. Yeah, they're rightfully demons. The other things are not demons. The other things are good. Right. Yes, it makes you stand up, and it's done here. The soul, the ghouls be there too. I think. Goddess says, "Is it now light outside, or is that just light from your phone?" Oh no, it is light. It is light right now. I'll show you the sky. Right now, it's overcast. Okay, like that is a cypress tree right there. Okay, and that is the main tree, like in the back part. Right. So this is, it's daytime overcast. I agree, Rose. We cannot confuse light and dark. Amen. Oh yeah, Callie, you know about the ghouls? Yeah, I remember when I was a kid at Halloween, I got a scream mask, and they told me it was a ghoul, but it was actually from something else. But I know what a ghoul is. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to the cypress trees. Callie, yes, I walk through my home sometimes, and my hair is raised, and it feels like someone is right behind me. Yeah, yeah. He knows what you're talking about. So over here is cat house that is under construction, and right here is something interesting. This thing right here. So it's this piece of wood right here. I'll get a stick. See this piece of wood right here. You see how it's designed? This is from an old cypress tree that was like over hundreds of years old. That was already dead, and this is some wood from it. It's waterproof, and it's still chilling here after all this time. I have some other pieces of it in different areas, but yeah, this is part I have here. It's a very old swamp tree. Oh, thank you, Goddess. I appreciate it. Welcome to the spaceship. Okay. Oh, okay, Goddess. So, thank you for coming on the stream. It was my pleasure, and thank you, chat, for being good to our guests that are visiting us. All right. So, okay, yeah, it is interesting, otherworldly sensation when our spidey senses start acting up. Yeah, spidey senses start acting up. Yeah, and this is in daytime. Okay, so Callie, that's the plants up close, the pumpkins and the squash up close. But yeah, say yes. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Yeah, very well so, Goddess. So churros, and we should pay attention more. Oh yeah, because so many people will not acknowledge their spidey senses when they start tingling. You know, when they start tingling, I don't, you know, I don't ignore it. I go and acknowledge it that there's something going on. Happy day, Benjamin. Boss, that's a good idea. So one of the people yesterday suggested a pond with dragonflies. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Go fishing in it. Yeah. Yeah, the gut is a built-in survival instinct. Yeah. I am into aliens, Ben. Very much into aliens. I think that they are real. I think some of them could be fallen angels. Some of them might be entities from another dimension and also from other planets too. I think when they come into our realm, they all look the same, but we don't really know which one came from where. You know, the Bible talks about flying things like from Ezekiel's wheel, chariots of fire, and you know, there's things on other planets that look like grays, and other things look like grays. It might, you know, definitely are out there. Ben, in my opinion, it's real. And some alien craft are not some alien craft are from us that we reverse engineered. Other ones are from aliens. So the Booga sphere is 100% alien. Yeah. And Steve Stephen Greer, he also believes it's real too. So yeah, the Booga sphere is real. From something else, from the another realm of some kind. Yes. I really enjoyed Roswell and Alien Disneyland. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. With the aliens in Roswell Disneyland, yeah. And really the cinematic ways of doing these types of stuff, like people will see with Disney and things like that, could really bring it to light with how that stuff works. I I also think it is really, good memories, and it's kind of a way of reality. Like that stuff is really real out there, that with Roswell happening, and they go and make it into a movie to kind of tell you subliminal messaging about what it really is. More and more credible witnesses coming out and saying they have contact for years. Yeah, the government is involved. Yeah, yeah, and I remember there's people that were at Roswell, and the various accounts of different one people I've heard and about is they're recovering alien bodies from there, and the UFOs were broken, crashed, and they were able to recover them. And they reverse engineered the technology that they had. No more scientific organization has confirmed it was alien. Some physicists say it looked human made, like an art project. Yes, I definitely agree with that. That it could look human made, but it seems, from my opinion, it was dated 12,000 years ago. I'm not trying to be gullible here, and I don't want to give credit to something that wasn't really true, but from the research that has been done, it was certainly an orb that was from a long time ago, and it would be kind of, although it could look human made, it could be sort of difficult to distinguish what's human made and what isn't human made. So a lot of things that we have where we're taught about metal making came from them originally. So like I don't think we have necessarily a blueprint about what is alien made and human made, but definitely it could be human made. But I'm leaning more towards it being real. Callie says, as at Roswell Museum, they had actual dummy used the fake alien autopsy film. Ah, wow. Wild seeing it up close wants it one to be real. Yeah, and you never know, it could be real and they say it's not real, but yeah, I definitely agree. And also, Callie, to say this is to use is that must have been very haunting in a way to be up close to that. It must have given off spidey senses, start tingling with that. I hear you, Ben, and that very well may be true. And it's just the we've seen it fly in the sky and it landed, and it does look very brand new to be lab made, but it certainly seems like there's other orbs like that floating around. So it's just one of those things up close. And the type of metallic sphere inside of it did an X-ray on it, and the type of metallic sphere inside of it was very different from our planet's origins. Yeah, me too, Ben. And look, it could be fake. I'm leaning more towards being real. We gotta be aware of hoaxes and fake sightings, because a lot of that discredits true alien research and alien exposure. Definitely. So we have to be careful. But some things are unbelievably real, and some things are doubtably false. Let's see. It could be a replica. Yeah. Yes, and a whole place was really spidey sense activating. Had to drive through the white sands, and it was same thing. Yeah, yeah. You see, the vibes of the aliens are still present, even if they're not there. I know this oracle who had been fighting cancer for a long time, and she said good aliens contacted her and helped her heal, and she did heal herself naturally with that guidance. I hear you. Now, there's some theories that some of the aliens might be angels themselves, also, or they're aliens from another planet that have a good technology to help us. So, Rose, I'm going to explain to you about the alien technology. So, there's aliens that allegedly have this technology that's anti gravity, and that would be able to completely flip over everything. Okay, it would be able to uh, would give us free energy and be able to heal diseases and bad things like that. The aliens would have this type of technology. So they're trying to hide the technology because they don't want to stop that from happening, right? So they want to make money from it. So yeah, the alien did give the Oracle rather, the ability to heal themselves. I think it's very good in a way that if it was a real alien that was being good, it's good they were able to have that type of technology or ability to be able to heal themselves, because a lot of technology is not available for most people that these aliens apparently have. Yeah, so they apparently possess this type of technology that they don't want people having, and there are definitely alien sightings in Antarctica. That is also true too. Apparently, according to some accounts that people have been there. It's really crazy how these plants look before they start, you know, sprouting out. It's really wild. Okay, Ben, I'll tell you the mainstream narrative, and I'll tell you the conspiracy narrative. So, Area 51 is a place where they do lots of government testing, right? And when they have this government testing, they, will do experiments and do experimental craft and things there. Nevada in general is where a lot of experiments happen. That's where they shoot nukes and stuff and test all kinds of things in that region. So, the mainstream narrative is a government facility to do testing. The conspiracy theory end of this is that Area 51 is a place where they're also, in conjunction with the other things, are holding alien bodies and alien tech, maybe cryptids too, and that they reverse engineer the alien technology to give us the things that we have now and the weapons that they're trying to figure out. Weapons they're trying to figure out. So mainstream narrative is where government testing happens. The conspiracy theory is an addition that besides government testing, they also have alien technology there, the reverse engineering, allegedly. Right. Callie said one theory is that aliens are essentially us from another dimension and more evolved from possible parallel universe stuff. I don't think there are aliens at Area 51. Okay, thank you, Callie. Understood. There may be no aliens at Area 51. There could be another area where they have aliens kept, or maybe there's no aliens at all. So there could be other government facilities. They also have them. It may not be Area 51 anymore. It could be somewhere else. And yeah, hello, tribal. Yeah, the Antarctic Treaty. Right, right, exactly. So that's the thing about Area 51. The the people that were there definitely have that type of mentality to them, where you have to understand where you live before you can attack an alien debate. Exactly. And that is cool, Rose. I used to live in El Paso and travel to NMLA. Oh yeah, that's very cool. Hello, super good to see you. And also, what I think is absolutely certain is that there are so many people that have various sightings that are very thing. So those are the tales of Area 51 and what it may be and what it may not be. But definitely, people get a spidey senses feeling when they're in those regions of Area 51. Which is the state itself. Okay, thank you, Trouble. Hello, Vic. Nice profile pic, by the way, Vic. We are talking about some aliens and cryptids right now. Went to New Mexico, see trees again, Cloudcroft, and Ruidoso mostly rose. Oh, that is cool. Yeah, it sounds very pretty. Yeah, there's lots of different types of things out there. It's called S4. Okay, thanks. I'm sure there's all kinds of different facilities these alleged anomalies are being held. All right, Super says drop a pebble into the still water. Each wave round that pebble after it hits the water is an ice wall. First the Arctic Circle, then Antarctica Circle, then another after that, 7 altogether. Okay, thank you for the parable. That's where we live. Ah, yes, yes. All right, Ben says some foreign military personnel have testified about unexplained aerial sightings, but testimony alone is not scientific proof. It's not scientific proof, but you got to remember that you can know them by their fruits, and I definitely feel the same way. And knowing them by their fruits, why I don't know why they would go through great lengths to try to censor information about aliens with the MIB, the Men in Black, and various organizations to promote in the media people that believe in aliens as foolish. Because science may not always be on our side. Sometimes science might have an agenda. If they had some sort of free energy, they don't want people to be afraid of aliens because it might cause public panic at a certain time period. Maybe not now, but in the past. You had another problem when aliens were, having a certain technology that would flip over the economy and make everything go downhill for people that had like investments and power and stuff like that. So it's possible if there are aliens, hypothetically, their science either is overlooking something that we don't completely understand with our knowledge right now, but doesn't mean it's not true, or they're intentionally hiding the truth because there's just you have to go by like what if science says that this plant is not here? It's there, right? Even if it's scientifically impossible for this plant to be here, it's there. But people throughout history have talked about these flying objects coming from the ocean, coming from the sky, everywhere. So I think it's credible that there is something there we don't quite understand. Either they're from Earth or they're from somewhere else. And people have had encounters all over the world, especially the people in the Air Force. They're seeing something out there. Is it a technology that someone else has, or is it a technology that we have? And maybe they're from another dimension. I know it sounds science fiction, but maybe they're from another dimension. So, although we can, the science maybe not confirm it, that's okay. That's true. We don't know exactly what they are, but there's something. There could be something there, you know, and hopefully they tell us the truth about what it is exactly. But I definitely think that's a great point, but they are seeing something there, indeed. And Rose says scientific proof doesn't mean anything. We have to have our own intuition and eyes. Yeah. All right. Let's see. And every ancient civilization about aliens, I'll believe the verses line Guberman and Faux exactly, boss. And there is a land and resource beyond the ice walls. Those are extraterrestrial, extra lands. Yes, exactly, super. Very true. And hey, have you seen the UFO footage just released 10 minutes ago? It's crazy, best footage yet we'll still ever get. Okay, I'll go look at it. Sounds pretty cool. I keep seeing wild stuff about Antarctica, and I don't know a lot about it. Okay, we'll talk about that. All right, so let's see. Demonic people from the future. Okay, thanks. Less people know about actual sciences, the more inclined they are to believe in aliens. And that's not exactly true all the time. They could be very well versed in science to know the facts about science, to know that there's more than us out there. It could be the opposite, and it is, you're not well versed in science, Robert, but you think aliens are not real. So there are exceptions to the rule. And I'll get to you in a minute, Ben. And Earth, as we know it, is a land between ice, Arctic, and Arctic circles of ice. Oh, yeah, yes, absolutely. And Ben says, if aliens actually exist, then the biggest question is what kind of life they are. Scientists think they are a few realistic possibilities. Microbial life was likely tiny organisms similar to bacteria. But it doesn't explain people seeing orbs and UFOs and things like that for thousands of years, though. Like, what if there is an alien species that's far more advanced than us on another planet, or maybe on this planet? Maybe they're on this planet on some other part of it that we're not completely aware of, like a lost civilization or aliens that had a base here. Maybe that's what it is, or they're from another dimension. There's a possibility they're not even from another planet, but they're from another dimension of some kind, or they're from our planet, from a different region of it that they're not completely familiar with. So I hear what you're saying, and I know all about that. But sometimes, like for instance, I mean, I'm not going to say that the science is lying. This is my personal opinion, all right, and my team opinion too. Basically, is that with for instance, totalitarian regimes told people things that they wanted them to believe to go because of their own power and control. They all did that. And they gave people a set of instructions about how science works. But it was actually wrong what they thought. So I invite you to think differently and to not always accept everything that you're told, perhaps, that it's not necessarily false, and take what I say with a grain of salt. And that sometimes there could be flaws of physics that we don't completely understand just yet, that we're either being lied to, or there's just some stuff that was undiscovered. There's a time where Columbus thought you could sail around the world to go to India, but there's actually America in the way. They didn't know there was a landmass there. So what if there's something they either don't know or they're either lying? Those are two possibilities. But thank you for your very wise argument there. A very, very good point. Callie says, our minds are limited to our physical ability to understand, but if other civilizations are not as limited, then they could overcome the physical inability we have to break dimensional barriers. Yeah. And they have 3 bases in the Arctic and the Pacific and the Black Sea. Yes. And we would kind of crazy to think that we are the only sentient life in the universe. I agreed. Absolutely. And Tribal says S4 is near Papoose Lake, built underground on a side of a cliff. Okay. Thank you for letting me know about that, because I know there has to be other bases besides Area 51. I've heard about them before. And yeah, so I think that, with same thing what Obama said, that there's so many trillions of galaxies out there, there has to be something else besides us. And I'll tell you about Antarctica. Okay, Callie? Moki and I were talking about them earlier, about it earlier. So in the Arctic, there is lots of UFO activity. Hey, Fish, good to see you, buddy. And there's lots of UFO activity in the Arctic. So there was a time where uh uh his name's I said too many times because that was silly. I want to get to the facts right now. Okay, so there is Captain Bird, okay? And Captain Bird is this captain that was going to the Arctic with 4,000 troops for an alleged experiment. And they were allegedly deterred by UFOs. So there was conspiracy theories if the Reich had some base there or something, but the Reich was couldn't win World War II, and they were kind of out of business. So if they had a base or not, it wouldn't really be there or be able to be active. But for thousands of years, people talked about humans existing within the earth, and there's been all kinds of civilizations on the earth for a very long time with this advanced technology from the Arctic. So in the Arctic, there was this UFO sightings like we see now, flying saucers. So the theory is that on that it's a base for UFOs over there. That the aliens have a base or civilization over there that maybe be in the earth or around that region because they're coming from underground or under the sea. I said it wouldn't be a Reich because they went out of business, before that. And there's three pyramids, just like the pyramids in Giza in Antarctica. Very bizarre. There's a doorway that was seen there. There is, alleged alien frozen bodies that were discovered there. So there are definitely objects there that was has to do with UFOs. So there's a hole allegedly or passageway into an inner Earth, either by a civilization that's very advanced or an alien species that has taken a part of that, and that's why we have aliens come from the oceans and stuff. So that is a theory. It's a base where aliens are, or some advanced civilization, allegedly. Okay, there's alleged evidence of that, and many people have tried to discover Antarctica, and they couldn't really get there. And there has been agreements to not go to Antarctica for various reasons. You were abducted in your dream. Okay, yes, okay. And Ben says, I don't know many people witness UFO in the sky and have much more express, and I have never encountered these things ever in my life, even though I tried to research a lot. I believe aliens are living deep in the ocean and have bases there because ocean isn't discovered fully. I agree about the alien bases. And imagine creatures with high tech intelligence who actually get to work with them in the future. It will be interesting. It'll be interesting if they are there, which I believe they're there too. If they could give us technology to help our civilization and we work together, that would be very nice. But now humans are very destructive and want to delete each other all the time. So it'd be good if we had world peace first. But yeah, it's definitely I definitely agree with you there because there's called USOs, and a lot of these USOs come from the ocean. So there's something in the ocean. They may be all from the ocean. I saw a UFO one time on the horizon, and it was rising up, and it was a blue orb, and it was going deeper into the sky. It was very weird. And it looked like a star. Yeah, I personally, in spite of what science says, in my personal opinion, I think they are in the ocean. If definitely. Rose said, "Go into the woods and look up, especially at night." Oh yeah, they are in the woods too. They are in the cities, and we have a friend UAP in Australia. He's been documenting the UFO sightings over there. So I will tell you this: is that they may be coming from the oceans, but they definitely do appear in the woods and rural areas, and they appear in cities sometimes too. And we know less about our ocean than space. It's possibility. Oh yeah, there is so many things that are in the oceans that we don't even know are there. They recently, in 2005, they discovered that there is the Kraken. All right, and the Kraken, the mythical creature from Pirates of the Caribbean show, TV movie thing. There's actually a crazy evil squid that exists over there. Deep in the sea. So there definitely are sea monsters out there that we don't even know are in existence. Yeah, Ben. I wouldn't want the snake to bite me either, but I love the woods though. But I'm just kind of crazy. Yeah, but definitely snakes or whatever would be concerning. But yeah, I love the woods and stuff. But it's I'm just a little bit nutty personally. But not speaking for other people though. And I saw something similar, alien. It was red through ascended crazy fast straight up. Yes, over top of a mountain. It looked like I'll be serious here. So it's like up there, I was looking at the horizon, and you see a little thing go up in the air, right? It went up and up and up. That's what it was like. I've recently seen some UFOs during the day. One was very bizarre. That's very bizarre indeed. There are documentations of UFOs being seen in the daytime, and there is a flying saucer in Florida swamp one time. So there definitely is something there in those regions. Besides your region, but yeah, one thing I want to say is that yeah, during the daytime they can be spotted, although it's not as common. That's hilarious, tribal. Okay, it was too big to be a drone, and it was went up so fast. There's no way it was aircraft. Same thing with me. Like this thing had no blinking lights on it. It was a complete sphere, and it was rising up. I took a video of it, by the way. It was rising up, and it was going up and up and up and up. Like and possibly it was just real weird, and my spidey senses were tingling, big time. And that's the thing. Like some of these, the Air Force will see these types of entities in the sky, right? And they go so fast that we don't even know what they are, and they break, logic, and they just do things that are like impossible. So it is definitely something, you know, paranormal and not like what we are familiar with. Yes, I thought it may have been a drone or an airplane. It wasn't an airplane because it was has squiggly lines, right? It was just moving squiggly lines, and it was levitating, and it went up really fast. It didn't make any sense because you know I thought it could have been a drone, but it just didn't really look like a drone. Who would be flying something like that? That's that bright in the middle of the night like that. It just would It just I looked up what drones look like. And it was nothing like that. It was not a drone. Drones are totally different looking. This was a complete orb. It looked like a star, like a blue star, and it was just kind of playful. It was kind of you know, and it zigzagged up, and it stayed there, and it went up a little bit higher and vanished. Look at those sprouts. Those sprouts are so cool. Anyway, so yeah, so that is what I saw as well. We both saw the same thing. It's nice to see people that also saw the same thing I saw. Okay, Callie said this one hovered over the mountaintop for a min and zipped away. Yours sounds cool. I wish I remembered the shape. Yeah, yeah. Mine. You see, the thing with me is that I was thought it was very. It was spooky. It was exciting but spooky. And I took a video of it, Callie. At some point, I'll show you. I'll show you at some point. And it's buried deep, deep in my channel, but it's there. And it zoomed up into the sky. It was. It's really kind of difficult to see because I was on the iPod, but it's there. Yeah, absolutely. And then I took my, iPod out and filmed it. I didn't just stand there like the way not that you not any if you and anyone else did that, I'm not taking a shot at y'all. But I just personally, for me, I'm just like real hard on myself a lot, okay? And I wasn't like, just sitting there like a duck. I was like, I went and took the phone out. I mean the iPod out. I was on my phone, I think, or wasn't I was okay, I was listening to something on my phone, which I should have had the phone because that would have been a better camera. But I was on the iPod and I did it. This is back in 2021, I think. I took the video. This one hovered over the mountaintop for a minute, zipped away. Yeah, I read that. Okay, and binoculars often better than telescopes for tracking moving objects, unlike going out in the woods. Yeah, I know, but she was just telling you in the woods. A lot of times UFOs can be spotted. That's all she was trying to say. But binoculars, you could bring binoculars with you in the woods to go and look at them. Callie, you are fine. This thing was checking me out, and this UFO wanted to date me probably. So, it was just staring me down. So I had the time to do it. Okay, and it was something that I had it right on me. So no biggie. There's all kinds of times when I like want to see something, I don't take a video of it quick enough. Like the owls, or one time there was a UFO I saw in the live stream, and I didn't turn quickly fast enough to show the chat. So you know, it's all good. It's all good. And yeah, it makes you want to GoPro 24/7. Yes, checking me out. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, GoPro 24/7. Yeah, yeah. I mean, in this yard, there's big snakes in here somewhere, and by the Lord's grace, may not be bit. But yeah, I mean, there's snakes where I am, and I do what I gotta do, but it doesn't, mean that it's, I can understand people concerned about snakes, but sometimes if we view things like if death smiles at us all man can do is smile back. Yeah, yeah. So definitely the way you capture experiences is using the GoPro. Definitely. Yeah, and snakes are mean. They just don't want to be stepped on. Snakes aren't mean. They just want to be. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, I remember one time there's a snake slithering around here, and one time a snake will go and slither, and it'll go and attack. So that is something that it can do. Well, okay, I want to just be clear here, 'cause I'm scaring everybody. I'm gonna set facts straight. So snakes, I've seen snakes. Like, say I'll see a snake right there, right, and it'll just slither across the way and just do its thing. Or sometimes I see snakes slithering, and they will just go and claw, right? They'll go and do the not an attack. They just go slither off. That's what they usually do. Yeah, but definitely something to be careful about. Scared. Yeah. So a lot, and the snakes that I will see in this yard usually are like a gray snake. That's what I usually see. And when a gray snake is seen, that's when I know like got watch out. Yeah. Scared. There's another type of snake that I've seen here that is like a little garden snake, and it looks cute. And that is something I think is so cool to see. And when that happens, it was like a little tiny snake that was put in like a little Starbucks, empty Starbucks thing, and a Starbucks cup and it was just like kind of doing its thing and just sneaking around, and they put it somewhere away from another area so it can not affect people that are in proximity. Right. Scared. Yeah. So in there's theories that aliens are interdimensional, right? So theories about aliens being interdimensional is that they come from one dimension to another. And when they come from one dimension to another, it is really cool to see that type of concept when they're interdimensional, because it's it's like there's our realm and some other realm or another universe, right? And they come and cross over to this side. And when you have that occurring, it is so fascinating to see what exactly happens. When you realize they're not from other planets but from another dimension. Right. So the other theory about aliens being interdimensional is that they through an Einstein-Rosen bridge, they come over here. And they come over to this dimension, and they're able to and the reason why they think they're interdimensional is because they can do things so quickly. They could go from this realm to another realm. Okay. And yeah, this is a strange plant right here. But it looks pretty cool though. It was probably an herb of some kind at some point. Now it just goes randomly. Yeah, we may be the back rooms of another universe. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, you think it's a fern of some kind? Okay, yeah, it's here we go. We got the spaceship fern. Hello, Feather. A nice profile pic, by the way, too. Yeah, so we're the back. Yes, basically, Callie. We know about the back rooms, which I think is a very cool game, and the pool rooms, and we know how it works. And we might just be the back rooms of another dimension, another universe of some kind. And also when they do stuff like this, oh, you drew that. You are certainly are very talented artistically. Yeah, very very well done. I like that. Yes, yes, absolutely, Callie. So the back room. Oh, I think the back rooms. I know so much about. It was so nice to see Mermaid play it. The back rooms, like a part. There's because I personally has never seen the back rooms before, and she played it one time. I thought that was pretty cool. And basically, in those back rooms, they had this because there's a lot of mythology and lore behind it, but the pool rooms, also were great to see as well. I mean, that's the main theme of of our channel. But the 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 back rooms or the pool rooms, it's like the thing is an entity itself, and the pool rooms or whatever back rooms are the entities themselves. And these things kind of come in and try to take you out, or it's just your paranoid psychology, because you don't see anything chasing you, but there's something there. So in that scenario, you absolutely know that there's something there, but you can't really see it. So maybe we are the back rooms for these other dimensions, and when they cross over to our world, they're in like a back room scenario. Right. Or maybe we're in some sort of matrix of some kind and they're coming into our realm for another matrix. So it's a very interesting thing to ponder, Callie. Oh, okay. Gentlemen, uh, gentleman stuff. I very elegant picture, by the way, uh, of a distinguished gentleman stuff, and I absolutely you understand what I'm talking about for sure. Then, yeah, there is so much lore in Kane's universe. I think it could be alien, a normalized entity, or replica. Not more like. Oh yeah, if autocorrect is fired, autocorrect you are fired. And also, so that is very cool to see. Where I believe there's lots of lore in that for sure, and it's certainly an interesting rabbit hole to go down. Now, because I remember like regarding the pool rooms, your spidey senses are going off quite frequently. And when the spidey sensors are going off frequently, it will go and bend reality in your in a bad in a kind of a twisted way. It'll bend reality to whatever the entity wants you to think. Yes. Yes. And it's like at first you think that it's a certain narrative that it is, but you actually learn it's something else. And it's like a plot twist. It's a big plot twist. So yes, that's definitely also a good point. And it's almost like seeing like a dystopian reality or dystopian world. There's a theory that the back rooms the back rooms and places like that are actually places where people will see like a limbo of some kind or stuck in another dimension. Those are other factors too that play a role in it. It's Mr. Meow. Yeah. He yawned. Oh, it's coming to Cali. Bubbles is coming to Cali. Yes, yes. Yeah, it's a mockingbird. That is what it is. That's true. Funk said, "Have you seen the Chariots of the Gods? It's a good doc about ancient alien life. I've seen it before. I have to rewatch it, but I've seen it before. Yeah, he's going through his tunes. He's going through his tunes. Yeah, and that's what I certainly think with these scenarios is that the sometimes like you're in a matrix and you don't even realize you're in a matrix. Like it's almost like a dream. Like the pool rooms. It's almost like a being in a dream state. And the people that are in the Mockingbird, he knows very well about these things, and that's why he keeps on repeating the song. Because I'll show you the Mockingbird right now. I see him right now. Yeah, hilarious part. They say the more songs they know, the sexier they two girls. Yeah. Well, he's gonna get all the ladies. He's getting all the ladies right now. Now he's live all over the world right now. He's going viral. He's fearless. Eh, yes, I agree. I agree. He's going another area. Okay. There's the Mockingbird again. Yes, it is Stargirl, absolutely. And the Mockingbird is dropping bars. Over here. A better spot. There he is. Yes, indeed. Hey, Bubbles. Snowball. Yes. Exactly, Funk. Yeah, how are you doing, Mr. Bubbles' brother? You are viral now on YouTube, and everybody is saying how great you are. You are a star. Yes, you are. He knows. Callie said hello. Yep. So did Sawgirl and Funk and everyone else and Tribal. Yeah. So he is definitely guarding the garden, while Claude is doing something else on the other shift. Right. And he knows that he is the star of the channel. And yes, you do. Yes, you do. Certainly likes the, yeah, and Saw Girl should just thank you, Fifi, and yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Yeah. Shout out to you, Fifi. Thank you for coming by. Yeah. So I mean, definitely, the Amels have a special intuition about a lot of things, and I think it is very cool what they are able to do. I mean, all the time in other realms and stuff, they could be able to sense things in a round. Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Yeah. For a second, he came back, but the bird now he's in a tree right now. Oh sure, Callie. Sure. I am on I'm around I'm in the galaxy called the Milky Way. So is this cat. Yeah. On the north side, I'm on the west side of the Milky Way. Scared. Oh yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah. So, definitely with the bubbles. Yeah, black coffee day. Yeah. Yeah, I like black coffee. That one's good. Okay, and he's coming back this way. See if he's trying to square up with anybody. Don't really know. Nope. He's just going back that way. Well, that's cool that you're in Florida, Funk. And also, right here, you have lots of. It looks like wheat to me, but it might be some other kind of woodsy thing. And yeah, that's a palm tree. See. So definitely soon we'll be doing the recap. Which I mean, we're not going to like go anywhere, but we're just going to do the other part of the stream, or we go in the inside part. He spotted something. Yeah. Scared. Okay. It's gonna get dark for a second, but I'll come back in a moment. Let's see. All right, so I am back. Now we'll do the recap part of just like talking about some things. So yeah, this is the inside part, and probably wondering what is on my head exactly. And right here, some people think that it is what's called a bicycle helmet. I mean, a bicycle seat, but it's not really that. Right. Mint it is. Okay. Let's talk about the history of mint. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Mint fun facts. Okay, and yeah, mint is a very good plant to have. It's one that I like to eat quite a bit, specifically. And put it in different soups and things like that. I mean, in a tea, really, not in a soup tea. Surprising history of origins. So, mythological names. According to the Greek legends, the name comes from the nymph named Minth, and Pluto was reportedly in love with her, which so estranged her wife Persephone that she turned Minth into a lowly plant that people would step on. Symbol over hospitality. In ancient Greece, mint was rubbed on tables to welcome visitors. Middle East offering the mint tea remains standard gesture of hospitality for arriving guests. Hilarious funk. Yeah. The ancient evidence. Dried peppermint leaves have been discovered in in Egyptian pyramids dating far back as 10,000 BC. No, 1000 BC, I meant. Okay. The cool compound. Mint contains menthol, which tricks your brain into feeling a cooling sensation by activating a cold, sensitive receptors in your skin and mouth. Square systems. You can always identify a true member of the mint family by its square stem. If you roll it between your fingers, you'll feel the four distinctive flat sides. All right, diverse varieties. There are over 600 types of mints, including unusual varieties like chocolate mint, pineapple mint, apple mint, and banana mint. Natural deterrent. The strong scent is pleasant to humans but highly repellent to pests like mosquitoes and spiders and mice. U.S. dominance. The United States is a global powerhouse for herb producing more than 70% of the world's supply of peppermint and spearmint, chewing gum giant. Approximately 45% of all mint oil produced in the US is used specifically to flavor chewing gum. Original medicine. Altoids were originally created in 1781 not for breath refreshers but as a medical loosenage to help relieve stomach aches. Pez origins. Pez, originally invented in 1927, was a peppermint sensational mint to help adults quit smoking. I didn't know in the 1920s they had a concept of not smoking. I didn't even know that. Wow. I personally didn't know that's what it had to do with about stop smoking. I didn't really realize that. All right. Mint is considered one of the most invasive plants you can put in a garden because it spreads through both underground rhizomes and above ground runners. Once established, it can quickly colonize an entire yard, crowding out of the plants and becoming nearly impossible to fully eradicate. The rhizomes. Mint sends out horizontal underground stems that pop up as new shots, several feet away from the original plant. Regeneration. Oh, you have near your back door? Oh, yeah, I love mint. I have some of the other in one of the other areas. Regeneration. Even a tiny fragment of the root left in the soil can grow into a completely new plant. Dull reproduction. Most varieties spread through the creeping roots as well by wind and dispersed seeds. All right. So use containers. The safest method to grow mint: isolate a pot. Placing these pots on hard surfaces like concrete prevents runners from reaching the soil. Bury barriers. If planting the ground, use deep pot, 12 to 14 inches with bottom removed. Sink it into the ground and leaving it at least 1 to 2 inches of the rim above the soil to stop runners from leaping over the edge. Constant vigilance. Regularly harvesting the leaves to prevent flowering and seed production. If you see the runners escaping their designated area, pull them up immediately. How to get rid of it: the manual digging. Dig deep to find the white rope like roots. Shift through the soil. Ensure a small pieces remain. Smothering cover the affected area with heavy black plastic or cardboard. for several months to starve plants of light. Solarization. In some areas, clear plastic can be used to cook the roots in the soil during hot dog. Uh, during not hot dog. Where did I get that from? During hot summer months. Let's see. There's different variations. Let's see. There are over 600 variations of mint, ranging from classic culinary shapes or staples, unusual flavors that smell like desert or tropical fruit, while most share the signature square stem and invasive growth habit. They differ greatly in scent, appearance, and mental strengths. Spearmint, the most common all-purpose mint, it is sweet and mild, making it top choice for savory dishes like lamb or beverages like iced tea. Peppermint, a hybrid spearmint, watermint, and watermint with much higher menthol content. It provides an intense cooling sensation and is typically used for candies, gum, and medical teas. The mojito mint, originating from Cuba, this variety has large, bright green leaves and a more traditional muddled flavor profile, perfect for cocktails. Okay, I have seeds for that, by the way. Okay, stinging needles refer to the specialized defense mechanism of the stinging needle. These plants are covered in thousands of tiny hollow hairs called the trichomes that act exactly like miniature hypodermic needles. Hello, DJ. It's great to see you, man. Let's see. So he said stinging needles are growing next to mint. Nice, nice saw girl. Excellent. Facts. And here we go. These plants covered in 1,000 tiny needles called trichomes, and they act exactly like miniature hypodermic needles. Yeah, I did the other live stream on the computer. Now I'm on here. Chemical irritant. All right. How needles work? The structure, each stinging hair is a single cell reinforced with silicia, making it rigid and fragile like a glass. Break. When you brush against the plant, the bristles slice tips of the hairs snap off and the angle creates a sharp jagged point. I don't know. I could sleep sometimes, but not all the time, but I have done that before, not during all day long, but I have slept earlier than when people are usually awake, where I would go nocturnal, and sometimes I just stay up the whole time. So it depends. So the injection, the microscopic needle pierces the skin immediately, including formic acid, also known for its stinging histamine and serotonin and ankercolin. Yes, I have seen the new UFO stuff. Yes, I have. It's very cool. So I think the new UFO stuff is actually very cool. Okay, I'm glad I didn't press the wrong button. It's good. Similar leaves both have a mint and needle. Both have serrated all oval shaped leaves that grow up opposite of each other. Square stems. While most needles species have rounded, slightly angular stems, some subspecies have square stems that look identical to the mint family. Oh, hello there, Din. Hello there, D. Yeah, good to see you. All right, so invasive growth, like mint stain needles, spread aggressively through underground rhizomes and can take over the garden quickly. True mint has a stinging hairs and strong distinction. Despite the stinging needles are highly nutritious superfoods once processed, soaking, blanching, and drying. The leaves completely neutralize and stinging hairs by breaking down the silicia and the chemical irritation. Once safe, the taste similar to the spinach and are packed with proteins and iron, vitamins A and C. Okay, and let's see um, what is it used in? Sea needle is incredibly versatile plant and used in everything from gourmet cooking and herbal medicine to high-end sustainable textiles. Once the stinging hairs are deactivated or heat or drying, the plant is safely highly nutritious. Main dishes, they are frequently used in soups like classic creamy needle soup, stews, and curries and quenches. Needle pesto is a popular alternative to basil and pesto. That is commodities, right? And beverages. The leaves are commonly steeped to make herbal tea, are used in smoothies for nutrition boosts. Snacks like kale needle leaves can be baked into crispy chips. Allergy relief. It is used as a natural antihistamine to treat hay fever and seasonal allergies. Anti-inflammatory. Needle ornaments and capsules are used to manage symptoms of arthritis and joint pain. Hair and skin. Needle extract is found in shampoos to simulate hair growth and regulate oily scalps, and also used in rinse and dandruff. Needle stalks contain long, strong fibers similar to lined up, more durable. These are used to make eco friendly clothing, ropes, and even interior materials from the automotive industry. Natural fertilizer. Gardeners ferment needle leaves in water to create a nitrogen liquid gold fertilizer for crops. Dyes. The leaves can produce permanent green dye, while roots produce yellow dye. So it looks like it's used in quite a bit of things, and make sure it's used in IT. Let's see. It's going to buffer for a sec. I'll be right back. I'm back now. So here I am. Okay, so stinging needle. Needle is a tea is widely used in nutritional powerhouse rather than just a casual beverage. Flavor. It has a mild, earthy, and grassy taste, often compared to spinach. So needle and mint are extremely popular in herbal teas, but they offer a slightly different experience and benefits. Flavor: it has a mild, earthy, and grassy taste, often compared to spinach. Health benefits: it is used to help manage seasonal allergies due to antihistamine properties. It's for prostate health and lower blood pressure. Safety: boiling leaves to make it completely neutralizes the sting. Buying options: you can find it as a loose leaf, dry leaf, or convenience from bags or brands like Traditional Medicines and West Coast Mint. Peppermint tea, sharp, cool, and high in menthol, excellent for clearing sinuses. Spearmint tea, lighter, sweeter, and more delicate. Moroccan mint, famous for blending green tea, fresh mint leaves, and generous amount of sugar. My pleasure, definitely. Saw. Let's see. Let's see how the balance is out. Blending stain needle and mint creates a balanced tonic that combines needle's dense material profile with mint's refreshing digestive benefits. This is due to staple of natural allergies and relief because the needle acts as antihistamine while mint helps clear congestion. 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried stinging needle and the teaspoon of peppermint or spearmint per cup of water. Fresh version use about 2 ounces of fresh needle tops, 3 to 5 inches of fresh mint sprigs from for a larger 8 cup batch. Steeping: let it steep for about 5 to 10 minutes for a light tea, up to 20 minutes or even overnight. For a potent herbal infusion rich iron and calcium. Handle with care. Always wear gloves when handling fresh needle to avoid the needles. Selection: choose young, tender top leaves, preferably for picked in early spring before the plant flowers. Neutralizing the sting: pouring boiling water over the fresh leaves immediately deactivates the stinging hairs, making the tea completely safe to drink. Allergy fighter, so mix the needle with mullein leaf and elderflowers for extra respiratory support. Neurative iced tea, brew on a strong batch, let it cool. Serve over ice with splash of lemon honey for refreshing summer detox. Pre-made beds, if you rather not forage, you can find organic options like organic needle, super herbs, or Republic of Tea. Right. Okay. So at this point in time, the stream is gonna be finished for now, and I'll be live, later on today, and also the other garden live that will be coming up, you know, technically tomorrow morning, but I call it later tonight. Right. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and chat. Sargo, thank you all very much for everything y'all do. And we're about to go right now. That's everybody. So thank you all for coming, and peace. Okay.